Thank you for staying with us on the news this hour. We're going back to our discussion on security matters as counter-terrorism expert Abolariwa Olatuboso joins us. It's good to have you join us on the news at 1. Let's begin with a more present concern, which is the situation in Plateau State. The governor has come out to say that, these killings are motivated and they are deliberate acts. Do you agree with that statement? And how do you think we can prevent a reoccurrence?
Well, good afternoon and thanks for having me. I wouldn't want to say I agree with the statement, but first of all, I need to show some empathy to the lives that are being lost unnecessarily and family that have been thrown into mourning. And the community at large who has been facing this problem more than 2 decades ago, that it is something has to be done about and has to become to stop. Now, coming back to the governor's comment, it is very, very difficult to be able to link it up to one motivation or the other, because it's an ongoing crisis that government upon government have come. I think we're talking about almost 4 different presidents now. So since 1999, when President Obasanjo took over leadership up till today, there is no president that has not been forced to deal with this problem, and the problem has not been solved. So if the current one is based on motivation, are we going to call the previous one motivation too? It's on that note that I would disagree with that assertion.
And we saw the National Security Advisor also paying a visit, saying that this will be the last in that state. I'm wondering how motivated residents in that community were about that statement. But what do you think are the likely steps it will be taken to ensure that this is actually the last?
Well, one of the first things we need to do is to beef up security and make people aware of how they can strategically work with government agencies to proactively defend themselves. Now, when I say defend themselves, you don't really have to carry gun and shoot at people to defend yourself or retaliate an attack. But if you know about stranger in your community, if you have means of reporting incident before it takes place, if you have been trained about terrorism awareness, if you have been trained about counterterrorism on the civilian part, and you know that you have these risks are there, and you need to put up a measure to mitigate it strategically, I think the collaboration between the government and the people that are affected is going to be highly boosted, and there could be a game changer in it, because it just looks as if the environment is so porous that this is happening again and again. The indices of what the National Security Advisor has, I don't have it, but if people are prepared and taught and lectured and educated about how to protect themselves and working with the security agencies, I think this is going to change things, and whatever the National Security Advisor is saying is really going to help save lives and property in that region.
All right, let's turn our attention away from the crisis in Plateau State to Interpol handing over WAPIS to ECOWAS member state. How do you think Interpol can ensure accountability of this member state in ensuring that the African Police Information System carries out the role it was intended for in the first place?
Yeah, one of the indices that has been falling out of the type of insecurity we are battling in Nigeria is the infusion of foreign criminals. So we have criminals coming from Niger, we have criminals dancing in between Cameroon and Nigerian border, and it makes our border very porous. I think the WAPIS program is going to be a step in the right direction to mitigate against that. I think up to Plateau State and the recent attack, one of the victims that came out to speak to the press said that the people that came to attack them were not speaking Nigerian language. So if we have a robust intelligence platform where intelligence can be shared between us and our neighboring countries so that we will not have to be dealing with their criminals coming into our country, is going to be a game changer to how we manage and mitigate against insecurity in Nigeria. So it is a welcome development if it works.
Counter-terrorism expert Olap Tuboso Abolariwa, thank you for talking to us on the news this hour.